99X and the Morning X. Barnes and Leslie of Monsters and Men. We were out yesterday for, I hope you enjoyed Best Of, but we were out for one of those not fun reasons. And what's wild is, you know, while you listen to our show, life is still playing out. And we have the most unreal parallel going on behind the scenes here on the show while my dad's been ill and Lanny's brother has been ill, Leslie's husband, Lanny. And they ended up dying within hours of each other.
It's really unbelievable because you and I talked and, you know, we texted, but your dad had been sick for how long?
He was 80. He'd been going downhill and got just really, sick towards the end, sick with complications. But, it's really weird to do a show like this where we can't, bring you down. And so I got the news during a show.
I really don't know I commend you for, sticking through it and actually doing this show through all of it.
Well, it wasn't easy. And it's the first time I've had someone pass away that, obviously a father. And if you haven't gone through that yet, it is surreal.
It's surreal. I lost both of my parents. And, when you and I were working together the first time at 99X. And, one of the things that struck me over the weekend, because we did a celebration of life, is I've never had the courage to be able to get up and speak at a funeral or celebration of life, because I just don't think I could get through it emotionally. You think about that because there's so much you want to say. And
man, but how tough is that if you've lost a parent? Or if you haven't,
or anyone,
but especially a parent, when they start putting the pictures up with the music,
and
Dude.
I literally, for anyone's funeral, even if it's a friend, even weddings, I get super emotional, and just it is part of life. But you're right, when you're looking at baby photos and photos of the family, and you're like,
man, then the pictures
the end
of
a life.
Like the ones of, like with you in it come up with, your parent or whatever. And that's just like, I wish no one had to deal with that. I wish no one had to go through death.
It's weird, though, that you and I both went through this at the same exact time. Even the celebrations of life happened on the same weekend.
That, I know. We've never taken, I don't recall you even being out. I know you were, but I don't remember you being out for funerals. I think that's the first time I've, been out for that. And I would not want to do it often. That's for sure. But it is, and I've said this a million times. I've got like super dysfunctional family members all over, and some that I don't even know of. One popped up a few years ago out of nowhere. So to say that it's, often a Jerry Springer episode, there's a reference for you from the 90s.
Well, I'm really sorry about the loss of your dad. And
thank you.
For you and the family.
It's tough. And especially when you I don't know, when your parents pass, like when you go in your phone and like you see them, in the favorites or like a voicemail from the past. And it's
absolutely.
Like, it sends just like a hollowness in your body when you try to piece that together. Like this person isn't here anymore. That's just, the person that you depended on as a small child is not here anymore. You can't pick up the phone and call them.
Which brother got up and spoke?
Brandon, the youngest one.
Okay.
They live in Tulsa where he lived. And so we went to Tulsa. I do have some, to lighten it up, some travel horror stories. This was a weekend of firsts. I'd never been to a funeral of a family member, like, immediate family. I'd never been in a city where the sirens go off for tornadoes.
Oh, that happens all the time where I live. What happened?
In Tulsa, they were going off.
Wow.
And then we were headed to the service, and one of the family members asked the people at the funeral home, what happens if this, if this tornado, because it was a massive, storm front passing through that area over like hours. You know what their answer was? We go to the cooler.
To the cooler.
I said, excuse me, what?
The walk-in cooler? Was it like the walk-in cooler?
Where they keep the bodies.
No.
The cooler.
Okay, I thought you were talking about a different cooler. No, that's not going to happen.
That's the safest place?
I'm sorry. That is not happening with Fram, who has claustrophobia, and then on top of that.
He didn't say where they keep the bodies, but he said in the cooler. And I'm like, well, what else are they doing in the cooler?
Wow.
But wouldn't that be at the hospital? Do they? I don't know. I did not ask questions. I just said, well, we'll see. I don't know if that happens.
Sorry, yeah.
I'm just going to be on the quick exit plan. But another first was on the way to Tulsa. For the first time ever, I saw an actual airplane removal of smack talkers.
You texted me about this.
I mean, we see them all the time in the news. I've never been on a flight where they were yanking people. And this all started out in the concourse. We're going to Tulsa, so we're in the D concourse, where the smaller planes are. And these two girls were at Auntie, whatever her name, pretzel place.
Auntie Anne's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You smell it a mile away.
It smells good, too, Auntie Anne. And so this girl, I hear this right behind me, bitch, just give me what I want. And I was like, whoa. Like, this girl was just screaming at this lady at...
On the flight?
No, this was before we got on.
Okay.
So she had attitude already. So then her other friend came over and they cut in front of everyone to sit in the chairs right at the little, stanchion where they opened to let you get in line. So they already had attitude. So we get on the plane and they were sitting, I don't know, 6 rows behind us. And the flight attendant asked her to put her purse away. She said, you either have to put it up or under. And she said, I'm not putting it either place. I'm not putting my purse is staying right here.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh, no, she didn't. And so then she started calling another flight attendant over, and they were trying to negotiate, and they were still giving lip, and they would not do it. So then at this point, she goes up to go get the captain, and they were smarting off, saying all kinds. They go get the captain. The captain was not having it. So the captain goes marching down, and so everyone, I was like, get your phones. Make sure you're on video.
I was going to say, did Barnes get out his cell phone?
Oh, I whipped a tripod out. I had the drone flying in the plane.
You whipped a tripod
I had freaking every angle covered. I was like, come on. And so the pilot goes down and we just see, I was right out of earshot because he was talking low. And I start seeing him do his finger.
Uh-oh.
I was like, oh, not to them. Do not do the finger to the girls who just yelled at Aunt Annie at the pretzel stand.
It's going to make things worse.
So she still wouldn't do it. And then at one point, just like a baseball ump, you see him do his thumb and he turned around and goes, they're out of here.
Wow.
And I was like,
You're
okay,
out.
They're going to have to drag these two out because there is no way. So they start negotiating. You got the red coat, you got the two people. So then at the top of her lungs, she says to the head flight attendant, oh, so you're doing this because we're black.
Oh, boy.
No kidding. Yelled it. And very calmly, the two flight attendants looked at her and said, honey, we're black.
Uh-huh.
We are not playing the race card. It was the weirdest race card play I've ever seen, ever.
And where's this footage, Barnes?
There was no footage because it escalated at that point, but there was no violent,
I gotcha.
There was nothing to film. You wouldn't be able to hear it. But the fact that she was so startled that she played the race card to two other black people that were doing their job.
Who said,
had
we're
nothing
black
to do
too.
with race. I know. She's like, that could have been the worst race card play of all time. Like in race card poker, that was the worst play ever. You have nothing else to play. So then
Why
finally
is there so
they
much
get up.
drama lately?
I thought they were going to have to drag them out of there. And so everyone is filming. In this day of age, everyone around has got their cameras on and filming. And they calmly start walking by. And it was just a fitting moment because one of them was wearing the 5-star hotel slippers that they give you.
Oh, nice.
Like that you get for free. And that was her shoe choice. And as she's walking out, one of them came off because those don't have really good form.
And have you looked on TikTok to see if any of this footage is up already?
No, but it's just you're just going to see the girls walking out unless somebody was right behind them to film. Yeah, I wish I could have got the audio part of it, but I didn't. So anyway, a sad weekend to top off with a couple of humorous anecdotes.
It's very sad. And in just one sidebar note, just to let you know, because when you told me about this, I found out over the weekend from someone that works in the military. Do you know that they don't have enough air marshals now for every U.S. flight? There's a shortage.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sad state of travel. Just between the traffic and the airport and then when you're on the plane.
It's like best of luck.
I thought that was my moment, though, to get my viral video. I was fully ready. So
Barnes was
freaking
ready with the tripod.
But they hooked him. Can you imagine the conversation when you get hooked like that? Do they ban you, or can you like say, okay, I'm calm now, let me get on another flight?
Maybe banned.
Yeah, I don't know. So send my wishes, please, to Lanny.
And you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's just,
Thank
it
you.
sucks.
Yes.
This is the original. It is 99X.